L'chaim, as we are now in the weeks of Bein HaMitzarim, and especially the Shabbos which blesses the month of Menachem of. And as the Rebbe says, Menachem of means that even before we say the word of, which is our Father in heaven, we begin with the word Menachem. Menachem of, that before even we understand that He's our Father, we recognize that He consoles us with the true consolation of the complete Geula. And specifically the time of Bein HaMitzarim, it says in Sfarim, that Kol Ritfel Yisigua, anything that a person pursues and wants and tries hard to get, he manages to reach in this time of Bein HaMitzarim. And the Rebbe brings from the Rishimis of the Tzemach Tzedek Anecha, that who is Ritfel Ach Toiv V'Chesed Yirdefuni Kol Yimei Chayai. Good and kindness is what pursues me, what pursues every single Jew. Kol Yimei Chayai, Kol Ritfel. That's what pursues a Jew, which that represents the 21 days, the 21 days of the 3 weeks. And that Kol, which is Ritfel, Kol Yimei Chayai, which pursues us, which is the good and kindness, Hisigua reaches every single Jew, Bein HaMitzarim, in this time of Bein HaMitzarim. All the good and kindness that every single Yid should have, all the things that they want, all the things that they need, B'teiva Nireva Nigle, anything that every Jew wants and wishes for, whether it's Parnasa Bar Chava and Ashirus, whether it's Nachas from children, whether it's Hatzlacha and all the Inyanim, and especially and specifically Hatzlacha in the Shlichus, to be Mekabel Bnei Mashiach Tzidkeinu. And together with that the Eibishter gives every single Jew, wherever they are in the world, grants them the greatest protection from anything negative and from anything that tries to stand up against them. And specifically in Eretz HaKodesh, which is the land, which is Einei Havaya Likecha Ba, where Hashem's eyes are upon it, Meireshis Hashana Vad Achris Shana, that it's seen clearly in Eretz HaKodesh and in every place in the world, that La Yanum V'La Yishan Shemer Yisrael, and that the Eibishter protects every Yid. And that we see that and have that, and specifically the most important bracha that we reach Bein HaMitzarim on Erev Shabbos Mevorchim Menachem of, that we have the coming and the Galus of Mashiach Tzidkeinu, whose name is Menachem, who takes us out of Galus and leads us all to Eretz HaKodesh, to Yerushalayim Ir HaKodesh, the Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi, L'chaim. This week is Parshas Matos Masei, which is always the weeks of Bein HaMitzarim. I saw a very interesting story. Yenes and Eibeshitz, it said that he was one time walking on the street, and he was stopped by a police officer who asked him, "Where are you going?" So he said, "I don't know where I'm going." He said, "What do you mean you don't know where you're going?" I asked, "Where are you going?" Again, he says, "I don't know where I'm going." So he took him to jail. Eventually they figured out who it was, and so they let him out, but they asked him, "You're a smart man, you're a big rabbi, what do you mean you don't know where you're going?" So he said, "Take a look. I thought I was going to spend the day in shul, to spend the day in the Beis Medrash, and I ended up spending the day in prison. Do I know where I want to go? I know where I want to go, but where I'm going, that only the Eibishter knows." We're told in the Baal Shem Tov that there is 42 Maseis, the 42 travels that the Jewish people went through in the desert, in the Midbar. Every single person goes through over the course of their life, and perhaps even every single day. Every single day, and specifically over the course of one's life, one goes from Eretz Mitzrayim, from the land of Egypt, from the Mitzarim Ugvulim, from the confines that hold us back from where we really want to be. And we go through all these 42 travels until we reach Eretz HaKodesh me'ever liyardin Yerechai, which Yardin Yerechai, the Rebbe explains, is Moirach V'dain, is Mashiach, who judges based on smell. We're always traveling, we're always taking this travel, but it's not our job to know where we're going. It's our job to know where we want to go and where we should go, and to realize that wherever any single one of the Masais, any single one of our travels is Al Pi Hashem Yachanu, Val Pi Hashem Yisou. It's Hashem who controls it, and because it's Hashem, therefore it's complete. Therefore it's command Kviya, it's settled, it's established, it's complete, it's the most complete and perfect thing possible, because it comes from the ultimate of perfection. I read a story about a Jew who was called the Lanciter Rav. His name was Rabbi Vagshal, and he had a shul in Williamsburg. He was a shtickle rebele. He was a derhebener yid. A Jew was uplifted. It was above the average, a special person. And the people who davened in his shul, he had all kinds of people who davened in his shul, and specifically most of his mispalim in Williamsburg were Satmar Chassidim. It was Tavshin Chavdalit or Chafei, and two Lubavitcher Bachrim came on Shavuos to speak on Talucha, to speak in the shul, to Chazer Asicha. So they came to the Gabbai of the shul and they asked permission, can we Chazer Asicha? He said, look, there's a Rav over here. Asked the Rav. So they went over to the Rav and they said, can we Chazer Asicha? And he said, with the greatest of pleasure, definitely Chazer Asicha. Later on, one of the older Jews was a Satmar Chassid. He came into the shul, and he heard that the Lubavitcher Bachrim are about to Chazer Asicha, and so he goes over to the Rav and he says, "Hi, what's going on here?" He said, "I said they can Chazer Asicha." He said, "Look, if they're going to Chazer Asicha, I'm leaving the shul." He says, "Leave." He says, "No, not only I'm going to leave the shul, I'm going to leave the shul and never come back." He said, "Well, if that's what you have to do, then that's what you're going to do." And the Bachrim Chazer Asicha, and later on, one of the people who davened in the shul, his name was Zupnik. His son told over the story. And he went over to Rav and he said, "I don't understand. Here you have two young Bachrim on one side. On the other side, there's an older Jew, an important Jew who everybody respects. And he's a supporter of the shul, and you just lost him because of these Bachrim. Why did you do that?" So he says to this person, he says, "Let me tell you a story." He says, "I left Galicia, Poland. I left when the Nazis, Yimach Shemam, when they conquered, and like all Jews, I was looking where to go. And I managed to get over the border into Russia. And in my travels in Russia, where I was moving from place to place, I ended up in the area of Siberia, around Siberia, where I couldn't even find one Jew over there. And due to the fact that I was different and I didn't speak the language, etc., and I'm Jewish, so they right away decided that I'm a spy for the Germans. So they went and they told the police I'm a spy for the Germans, and they gave testimony that I'm a spy for the Germans. And the police said, yeah, and they gave me over to the military court. Come into the military court, and there was not much of a question of what would happen to me. Rahman al-Islan, I would be sent to the death penalty, because there's no big deal to believe that a Jew is a spy and to be able to kill a Jew. He says, they asked me, do I have anything to say? And I stood up and I tried my luck. I said, look, I'm a rabbiner, I'm a rabbi, I'm a religious Jew. I'm escaping from the Germans. There's no way I'm spying for the Germans. I ran away from Poland. And he says, not only that, but our Torah tells us, V'darshu es shleima ir, our Torah tells us to help the country that you're in. There's no way, according to my Torah, I'm not allowed to spy. The judge hears what he has to say, what I had to say, and the judge says, you are free. There was a shock in the courtroom and murmurs and things, because it's unheard of such a thing. I'm a spy. They know I'm a spy. They have no question I'm a spy because they have no reason not to believe that. And the judge just said, you're free. But then the judge hands me a note in my hand. And on the note it says an address. It says, come at this and this hour of the night. I come over to the house and the judge opens the door. And I asked him, what's this all about? You put yourself in danger. You put your position in danger. Why did you do it? Thank you very much. But why did you do it? So the judge says to me, listen, I come from Lubavitcher Chassidim. And at one point in time, I was being drafted to the army. And so I went to the Lubavitcher Rebbe, that's the Frierdiker Rebbe at the time, to ask him for a bracha. And apparently he wanted to get a bracha to not be drafted to the army, or at least to succeed, whatever it was. And the Frierdiker Rebbe, the Lubavitcher Rebbe, told me, you will go very high in rank in the army very quickly. And the purpose and the reason why you're in the army is because there will come a time when you have the ability, you have the power to save a Jew's life. And at that time, even if it takes Mesiras Nefesh, even if it's self-sacrifice, even if it means putting yourself and your life in danger, you should do, because that is the reason why you're going to go in the army, why you're going to succeed in the army. And he says, sure enough, I went up in rank until I became a judge in the military court. He says, when you said your speech that you're a Jew, a religious Jew, I knew right away that this is who the Lubavitcher Rebbe meant. And so immediately, despite the fact that I was putting my very life in danger, because if I am speaking about you, if I'm protecting you, then I may be a spy myself. And nevertheless, I did it because that's what I was told, that this is the whole purpose of my being in the army. And so the Lancet Rav ended off, and he says, if the Lubavitcher Rebbe went ahead and sent his chassid to spend many years in the army in order to put his life in danger and save my life, I shouldn't let his chassidim come and chazer asicha in my shul. Everything that happens is arranged by the Eibusher. Every masa, every travel, every time we move from one place to the other, it's for a purpose. Perhaps even the purpose, the deeper purpose of this person going to the army and of this Rav having to be taken and put on trial was in order that the two Bachrim should be able to do the Rebbe's shlichus and chazer asicha in the shul. We need to understand our connection and what we're connected to. We're connected to the most powerful power in the world, to the Eibusher, to Atzmos Amos. And when we recognize what it is, there's nothing in the world that can stand in the way. There's nothing in the world that could scare us. We have the greatest possible power, and then we're not afraid of Masais. We're not afraid of the travels. We're not afraid of the fact that we're going from one place to the other. We learn now about the Beis HaMikdash. When a Jew went into the Beis HaMikdash, we learned that, especially according to the Rambam, every aspect of the Beis HaMikdash is exact. If there had to be space, the Rebbe explains, between the two curtains in the second Beis HaMikdash, between the Kodesh and the Kodesh HaKadoshim, an Amma space, according to the Rambam, it has to be an exact, a full Amma. Not like Tosfos and others say that it's enough that it's not a full Amma. Because that's what prepares us for the third Beis HaMikdash, when we'll have a wall of 2 amis, when we'll have an established place. So even though now it looks like it's only curtains, it looks like it's something which is only temporary. But in the end of the day, that thing that seems temporary is really the most established thing. The Rebbe explains to us the story of the Tzemach Tzedek, where the Chassid goes to the Tzemach Tzedek and he says to him, I want to go to Eretz Yisrael. And the Tzemach Tzedek says, Mach da Eretz Yisrael. And the Rebbe's question, why should I make Eretz Yisrael here? Rather, I should travel to Eretz Yisrael, move to Eretz Yisrael, in order to be in the holiest place in the world. And the Rebbe says, no, if the Eibusher put me here, that means my mission here is to bring that holiness into this place here. And it's the same thing with time. We're now in these 3 weeks which are connected to Galus and connected to our greatest and most powerful yearning for Geula, for the coming of Mashiach. But a person may say, well, Mashiach will come, it will be amazing, I'll jump onto the bandwagon then, I'll be part of it. The seconds that are left until then, why are they important? Why would I sit and prepare myself and make a whole situation and go raise funds in order to build a building in Galus? What's it connected to Galus? Mashiach will come, we'll go to Eretz Yisrael. Why would I want to do something in Galus? Why would I want to deal with the time of Galus, with the space of Galus? Why is that important? And the Rebbe says no. Al pi Hashem yachnu, al pi Hashem yiso. Every single time we move, every Masei, every trip, every travel that we take from one place to the other is Al Pi Hashem. It's the Eibishter that establishes it because he wants us to bring the ultimate Kedusha of the Geula into it and through that reveal Geula in the world. When Mashiach comes, it says, Asida Yerushalayim shetispashet ad Damasek. Yerushalayim will spread till Damascus. Eretz Yisrael, the entire world will become Eretz Yisrael. Our job is now to make the space, the time and space in the world that we are now in the time of Galus, to bring the light of the Beis HaMikdash into this space. And to bring the light of the Beis HaMikdash, the light of Mashiach, into the time that we're in now. The day that I'm in now should be a Mashiach day. And as a result, I'm going to bring Mashiach into the whole world. And this is something which is the most important thing for us to remember. A Pnimi. Someone who's a Pnimi lives where he is. We go in places, we go in Galus. And we're sometimes think, what is there? Of course, there's the ultimate mission, the ultimate goal. Mashiach's going to come and take me to the Beis HaMikdash. But in the meantime, now I'm in Galus. Now I'm not where I want to be. I'm not where I should be. So it's not part of my life. It's not part of anything. It's just a waiting game until I'll be where I should be. And the Rebbe says no. The Rebbe says no. If I am somewhere for this second, for this moment, there's a story that the Rebbe tells that we went into the Frierdiker Rebbe. The Rebbe went into the Frierdiker Rebbe and the Frierdiker Rebbe was supposed to catch a train. The train was leaving, let's say, whatever amount of time from them, but in order to go to the train, the Frierdiker Rebbe had to leave in 5 minutes. And the Frierdiker Rebbe was sitting there learning for those 5 minutes, as if sometimes you can see a difference between a person who's learning for 5 minutes and he knows that I'm going to have to get up in 5 minutes, or someone that's learning and he has 3 hours. The Frierdiker Rebbe was learning as if he had 3 hours to learn. And the Rebbe asked the Frierdiker Rebbe, to this extent, so much of a pnimi that you're living in the time so much. And the Frierdiker Rebbe said the story of the Rashba, that he was a doctor, and he was also a rabbi, and he also wrote Chuvas, and he wrote Chidushim, and he gave Shiurim, and yet he found himself time to take a leisurely walk for an hour and to smoke his pipe. Which means he had that power that where I am, I'm here totally. And this is something which each and every one of us, the Rebbe demands that of each and every one of us. Right now I'm here, not that I should live it in a Galus way, but in a Geula way, in a Mashiach way, so that this part becomes part of the Mashiach, of the ultimate Mashiach time. If right now I'm here, I have to live here fully the way the Eibishter wants it, which the way the Eibishter wants it for us now is being Mekabel Pnei Mashiach Tzidkeinu, to the extent that I can bring Mashiach into this moment and be able to take this moment and whatever it entails, even if it's a plan for the next 20 years, that's my avodah of this moment. I have to do it fully and completely. L'chaim, we should be successful with our avodah of having Matos, the power, the stick, the setting, the set manner, in the same, together with the Masei, together with our travels. Even though we're traveling from one place to the other, we're doing it in a way of Matos, like a stick. And from that we come to the Mata, which is the Shevet, come Shevet mi Yisrael, that Melech HaMashiach will be revealed right here, in the time and space of Galus. And the Beis HaMikdash HaShlishi will be revealed in the time of space of Galus. And together we'll all go to Eretz Yisrael, to Yerushalayim Ir HaKodesh, to Eretz Yisrael HaShlema. immediately, l'chaim, a good Shabbos, and a good Chodesh. L'chaim.